who's one of our premier loan partners. One of my favorites personally, just because their loans and the rates are just phenomenal. We're seeing a big comeback on loans and owning the systems in 2025 here. Just especially as battery technology has gotten better, gotten cheaper. Everybody started to pivot back towards having that tax equity appetite, and the loans are starting to really come back. So I want to go ahead and Jeff, we've known each other for, gosh, I'd say at least a year now, right?
Yeah, probably longer than that.
Yeah, and so I appreciate all the support you've always provided to the team, and even me just the other day with helping another homeowner as well. So I just wanted to give you a quick introduction. How long have you been in the space, or been with Sungage
So
Loan?
I've been in the space and with the same company. So Sungage for going on 11 years now. Um, Pretty wild. I was our 11th employee way back when, first person on the sales team, and it's been quite a journey from when we started for sure.
Okay, gotcha. So one of the things I love about Sungage specifically is the ability to wrap other types of components into a loan, not just the solar side, but obviously the battery. And then you and I were talking the other day about being able to wrap in the like roofing, for example. This homeowner has to do a comp inlay essentially for just old paper sitting underneath the concrete tile. It's about 8,000, right? But Sungage is always trying to increase kind of limits and stuff. I know there's certain limits we can do with that, but one of the things I love about it is being able to rope in these just extras into a Sungage loan. Can you? I don't want to steal your thunder or anything. Do you got like a deck or anything you want to go through?
Sure. Yeah, I can share. I got a little,
Perfect.
we'll do a full, let's see, I'm sending my request to let me share.
All right. You want to? I don't have joint
Oh,
privileges.
yeah.
Do you got it, Spencer?
Yes. What happened to my host tools? Here, you're good to go.
All right. Perfect.
I'll let you take over.
Yeah. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Let me get into a little slideshow here. All right. Perfect. So kind of piggybacking on my story, the way we started actually, our founder was a woman named Sarah Ross. She's still on our board, no longer running the company, but she was looking to put solar on her house, which was a pretty cool house up in Massachusetts where I live. It was an old farmhouse they renovated. And at this time in 2009, it was like stroke a check for almost 90 grand to put solar on. And leasing was kind of in its infancy as well. So that was an option. But she figured like if this is going to be a long-term thing, there's got to be a solution for financing, pretty large sums of money to do these improvement projects. So she worked with a local installer in my area in Western Massachusetts, and she kind of created this idea with her kids' college fund. So her first four projects were friends of hers all going solar. She lent them the money, figured out a way to do the deferral. So we were actually the first solar loan to ever launch, which is pretty cool. We started out when I joined, we were just launching in New England after doing a little pilot program with the state of Connecticut. And today, obviously, we're in all of the United States, hopefully looking to expand that maybe into Puerto Rico in the coming months. We now have three offices. Our headquarters is in Boston. We have an office in Oakland, and then we have an office in Hawaii. Oakland and Hawaii are very much customer service focused. We have a lot of our customer service representatives there because they can work later hours, which kind of helps you guys when you're selling in the home. So when you call us, you're always getting a live human, which is great. It's someone in the United States. Um, Most of our customer service team actually comes from solar. We recruit a bunch of them from smaller installers, so they kind of know what you guys are going through and hopefully super helpful. Um, the product itself, similar to what you guys would expect from a solar loan, right? We defer the ITC for 18 months. After 18 months, your customer has a decision to make. They can apply that money, keep their monthly payment the same. They can keep it, their monthly payment would go up. And then one key difference is in states where there's an additional incentive, we will also build that incentive into our deferral. So there's a couple big states like New Mexico's one, Illinois, and then there's a few that have state tax credits or battery incentives, things like that. So we put that into our 18-month deferral, which means you're always going to get the lowest monthly payment with Sungage, which is really nice. Reamortization, we changed this policy a couple of years ago, right? Actually, right before we started working with Power. We now offer unlimited reamortizations. So you have to do at least $2,500, but after 18 months, a customer can reamortize anytime they want to lower their monthly payment. This really is making, we feel, loans more accessible to people that maybe don't have all the tax appetite to get those tax credits year one. So they can continuously keep lowering their monthly payment. It's also great for someone that just gets a bonus at work and instead of just applying it to the principal, they want to lower their monthly payment, they can do it. So totally unlimited throughout the term of the loan. So if you want to do it once a year for 25 years, you could do it. Go nuts. For those customers that do want to pay an additional amount every month, so you're paying an extra $50 every monthly payment. That's going to work just like a mortgage. We'll apply that directly to the principal. Ultimately, it's going to shorten the term of the loan. And then with us, our first payment is due 60 days after we fund power. So really 60 days post install is when your homeowner is going to receive their first bill. In terms of how to use us, for those of you that haven't, really easy. We're fully integrated into Vision, so you'll build out your projects like you're used to there. Do the application with the customer, and as soon as the customer is approved, both the sales rep and the customer get an instant email. The email for the customer has an embedded link to go to the homeowner portal in Sungage. That's where they sign their loan documents, upload their driver's license, and then if there is any steps, they can upload them there. As of today, we are stipping only on about 4% of projects. What we'll be looking for there is if you are a W-2 employee, we ask for 2 consecutive pay stubs. If you happen to be self-employed or a 1099, we'd ask for your previous year's tax documents. So pretty straightforward. One nice feature too about our application is it is always a soft pull, never turns into a hard pull. Most lenders have a soft pull up front, and then either at notice to proceed or at funding, they're going to ding your customer's credit. We just never ding their credit, which is really nice. So you don't have to worry if you're out there shopping that we're going to affect your credit in any way. And then as soon as Power uploads their contract, we give you guys notice to proceed. Our timeline right now with Power is actually less than 3 days to get notice to proceed. Seems like they've changed the policy on getting contracts uploaded to us sooner. That was really what was holding it up. Your homeowner can take care of all their actions with Sungage that are necessary right there in the home while you guys are with them. This is a busy slide, so I'll kind of go through some highlights here. But as Jordan said, we do solar, solar plus roof, solar plus battery and roof. As of today, our threshold for what roof and battery can be is 50% of the total of the loan. I just put in a proposal yesterday to our C-suite to increase that, which I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to do here in the next few weeks. We're kind of running into situations, especially in California, where really you guys need to do batteries with projects, and it's most of the time more than one. So if there happens to be a couple batteries and you also need to do a roof, sometimes that 50% threshold can be a little dicey. So we're doing everything we can to try and increase that and hopefully make things easier for you. We also allow 15% of the loan to be site prep. You don't really have to list this out, but just know it's not going to count towards your price per watt. So things like electrical upgrades, trenching, whatever it may be. Maybe there's some roof work that's not a total re-roof. Any of that we allow, not a problem. You don't even have to put in your contract, but if you do list site prep in any way, just know it doesn't count towards the price per watt of the project at all. We do second homes up to four family residential buildings. The one thing I will say is we get a ton of asks about this is like, I own one of those, I rent it out, it's held in an LLC. Can you do it? We can't do anything in an LLC today. And the reason why is we're not able to file the UCC1 on those. So that's really our limiting factor. I would guess as we go into the home improvement space, which is certainly on our roadmap, we'd have an option where it'd be an unsecured loan. We're not filing the UCC. No idea what that would mean with pricing, but as of today, that's kind of where we exist. We do homes and trusts as long as it's revocable. 97% of the trusts in the United States are revocable. So we cover the majority of those. And then we actually have a battery-only loan as well. Not super applicable to you guys. I don't know that you're doing battery retrofits or anything like that, but in the future, if you had to go back to a customer that went solar, wanted batteries, we do have a product for just the battery. It looks identical to our solar loan. There's a deferral for the tax credits. And then the terms as of today are 5 and 10 years on those, and it goes up to 75,000. Our loan cap for solar or solar plus right now is 150,000. Things that we don't do, just a roof. A roof if there's a ground mount. If there's a ground mount, but you're putting couple panels on the roof plane, we could do the roof. Um, Anything held in an LLC again, some of the unrelated work, which this is also something we're working through, like HVAC mini splits, windows. I think we're going to be adding in a few adders that will be built into the solar loan. Mini splits are very likely to happen. Obviously, lighting, which we kind of allow today anyways. Insulation. I don't know about windows and doors. It's usually a heavy ticket price, so not sure how much we'd be able to fit into there, but it's something we are exploring, and hopefully by the end of Q1, we may have a solution available. So we do mobile and manufactured homes in Texas and California only. Reason behind that is there's a state database for us to verify that they are affixed to a solid foundation. Makes it easy. As other states kind of adopt that same policy, we'll certainly move into those as well with this policy. So can't do reverse mortgages, no commercial properties, and then split deeds, townhouses, condos. Those usually are a no. Some units will have individually deeded units and the land under them. Those we could do, especially if they have kind of their isolated roof pane. But those we'll figure out if you had someone that applied when we go to do our property verification through a software that we use a third party vendor with, it'll let us know if that's the case. Typically, like we see duplexes, those are usually like a single owner rents out the other half, but the deed is all in their name, the land deed and everything. Those are usually pretty easy. I would say townhouses get to be the trickiest with how the roof planes are divided and if the land under it is owned by an HOA versus the individual. Those are kind of limiting factors. A lot of stuff there, and I can definitely send you guys this slide deck just so you'll have it on hand. Price per watt, I kind of referred to earlier. We do it a little bit differently than everyone else. We are looking only at the cost of solar and the cash cost of solar when we figure out price per watt. So if you're doing a roof or battery, those do not count. Site prep does not count towards it. We will take the cost of solar, we'll back out the fees. So if you were doing a 399.25 year, we'd back out the entire fee on that. And then that's how we'd calculate our price per watt. So at 625 a watt, it's super generous. We don't have many projects that go over that. But a nice thing about our product too is that that price per watt cap is not a hard cap. So if you applied, someone was at $7 a watt, we're not going to stop the application. We'll get the approval. We're then going to reach out to you as the sales rep and just say, hey, why are you a little bit over? You say it's a difficult project. We had some extra work to do. Totally fine. I would say 99% of the time, we are going to approve those, get an exception for it. The ones that are tough is you're at 14, $15 a watt. We're probably going to ask, how many hot tubs are included in this? But anything that's, generally within a dollar or two, I almost always get the exception on those. So don't hesitate if you're over to submit the application. We're probably going to be able to work that project for you. Credit requirements, we made some sweeping changes to our underwriting in late July. Um, we go down to a 640. Anything over 700, we no longer have any debt to income requirement, which has been huge. And then you can kind of see it's a sliding scale as we move down from that. Since we put this change into effect, we've had an 87% approval rate of FICOs above 660. Above 700, we're at 96%. So this underwriting, we're probably now step in step with, or I would say close to that with GoodLeap, which has always been the loosest underwriting. And our pricing is significantly better. So we're trying to find this nice balance of being able to get as many projects through the door with our underwriting and then being able to price competitively so you guys are offering your customers the best possible product. Couple things we're looking out to do. I would say Q1 is very likely our 30-year loan comes out. I know there's products out there that have a 30-year loan that are tied to specific manufacturers. We plan to be agnostic in that sense where no matter what panel you're using, we're going to allow you to do a 30-year loan. We will have a 399 available on that as well as our no fee, so and everything in between. So you'll have plenty of options on the 30-year. Next big lift we have is a lease. So we're building a lease in-house. This is likely to be probably mid-year. It's a ton of work on our tech side, but it'll be built in our Sungage platform. So we should be able to integrate through Vision, make it very easy for you guys. really when we started thinking about creating a lease, we thought of all the pain points that you guys have experience with leasing. We're trying to make it very easy from a process standpoint and operationally. Be competitive on price and underwriting, obviously. And then really the big thing, which many of you may be aware of, rumors out there, is we plan on paying you on time at install. And then again, I mentioned energy efficiency adders. We are looking to build in some of these things into just our straight solar loan. There's some very easy products like insulation and mini splits where they also have the federal tax credit, makes it very seamless for our loan structure. So we'll keep you kind of abreast on those changes as they come. And for any of you that have never used us, maybe you don't even have access to Sungage, you can let us know. I can resend you the code of conduct that you sign off. You take a quick quiz, you're ready to sell. There's a ton of information from Sungage in your Power Knowledge Base. I always point to there's a document in there called the Sungage Installer Onboarding Info. It's basically every question you could have in an FAQ doc that's probably 7 pages long. There's easy ways to click to each thing. So I would say it's a great starting point when you have something. You can also get a hold of me. I think you guys probably all have my cell phone, but if not, I'll make sure it's in the documents when I share them with you. And then every first and third Tuesday, we do office hours at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I go there with Nick, who's our operations specialist for Power. We're there for an hour. It's really meant to be as detailed as you want in terms of like our overall product process, or we can get granular into projects that you have going on that you might have questions for. We'll have access to all of that and happy to help whenever we can there. This is both my Nick's contact information. I don't know why mine's not on there, but I'll make sure you have it. It's also in the Power Knowledge Base. And that's kind of my massive quick overview. But if you guys have questions, I am happy to answer anything.
That's so cool. Appreciate it, Jeff. It's been game changer for us because though we are doing a lot more loans, is the times that we do need to do like a PPA release product, having the integration from the competitor, I'll just say in quotation marks, into Vision has been really, really amazing because it allows us to, I can literally show somebody a 25-year 899 Sun Gauge, switch it to the lease. They're like, well, I'd like to see it and go 0% on that lease. Because if they're considering a loan, to me, that's going to be a flat payment. So I switch it to a 0% with the lease and they go, oh, never mind. They'd rather just switch to loan like immediately. So having that integration into Vision, I think will be really, really amazing for us because that way we can just switch between the Sungage products and say, oh, lease loan. I firmly believe we'll probably sell about 70 to 80% loans this year, more over leasing, just because the batteries have just really kind of come down in price overall. And that was the biggest chunk of change. Like everybody was just getting that whiplash of like, what just happened? And everybody just went, ooh, leases. Like they were used to selling a low payment. And obviously that's been a catch 22 for the industry, especially in California and some of the providers. So I'm really anxious to hear how that kind of pans out. Do we have a timeline on the lease with Sungage then, and maybe the integration, or do I need to take that up with Matt and team up there?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely targeting Q2 at some point. I mean, the dirty work in terms of having all the tax equity piece and all that's already ironed out. We spent a lot of last year bringing on new back end capital. So we have 5 banks that take on loans. They get sent to all these companies. And our biggest backer right now is a company called Carlyle, which is an international bank that has about $1 trillion in assets. They are taking on all our tax equity, so we will never run out, which is an issue with some of the leasing companies. So we'll be in a really good spot with that, where we know we won't have like any interruption in service because we just ran out of the pool of money to put all the tax equity. So that
Right.
piece, from a legal standpoint, we have everything kind of ironed out. It's now just a tech build, and it's a lot. I mean, the nice thing about loans is they're very easy. Like we don't ask for a lot of things. We don't even ask for pictures of the install from you guys. It's really, really easy. Obviously, there's a more detail that's needed with leasing, and we have to have our back end capable to take all those things into account, have a place to store them and review them and all of that. So that's really the pacing item at this point.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's the conversations I'm having with a number of our clients, just because the tax equity funds run out for certain leasing providers and say, hey, would you like to own it or switch the leasing provider at this juncture? So getting delayed on not just payouts, but also installations is a huge thing. And for us in solar, it's like we really do need to make sure that when glass hits roof, that money's flowing just for everybody involved. So otherwise, nobody wants to work with you if you're not paying out on time.
Yeah, getting paid is pretty important, I would say, when you're running a business.
Hey, Jeff, quick question for you on that. Have you guys talked to Carlisle about assumptions of loans? Because that's been a big issue in the real estate side is people not able to assume solar loans. Are they on board with that? Is it an easy process? All
In
that
terms
jazz.
of transferability, are you talking about?
Correct.
Yeah. So honestly, the limiting factor, we do transfers. All they need to, the new owner needs to meet our basic criteria. So they don't have to have the same credit worthiness as the previous owner, any of that. The trickiest thing for us with, our current issuing bank has been, let's say I took out a loan 2 years ago. Interest rates were different. We offered at that point, we had 0% 25-year loans. When the person goes to transfer it, since that loan term doesn't exist anymore, they were then getting moved to like a 399. So it wasn't the exact loan that the previous owner had taken out. Not the greatest experience, for sure. But our new issuing bank that's coming on within a number of weeks now, I think they're going to be able to assume whatever loan is on the books, they're going to take over that. Makes it a lot simpler. Um, so we're looking to kind of clean up that process. It's a little clunky even as it is. Mostly around, I would say timing is one of the most important things I tell people is the earlier you can let us know that this is going to happen, the better. I mean, we get calls where it's people saying, "Hey, I'm closing tomorrow. I need to transfer this loan." And it's like the chances of that happening are pretty close to zero. So if you can give us about a month, the process itself takes about a week, but just to make sure. And it does cost the homeowner $250, just so everyone knows. I think some people get caught off guard that there's a fee, but it's really just a paperwork fee to do all of the transfer. And then the new homeowner before closing will need to sign all of the loan docs, upload their driver's license, same process as what, our normal loan process would be. And then they take over the remaining term. We get a lot of people asking, well, oh, could I take out a new loan for 25 years, even though there's only 16 years left on this one? Typically, the answer is going to be no, unless they actually want to take on a shorter term. Sometimes the banks are willing to do that where it was a 25-year loan, new homeowner's like, I want to pay this off in 10. Can I restructure it? They are willing to do that on a case by case basis.
I mean,
Cool.
to me, that's the no early payoff penalty is really advantageous for these 899 loans because at the end of the day, it's going to give, and Zach, correct me wrong, because you have more real estate experience than I do. Like that's going to be huge for the homeowners from an options perspective, is like not having a huge dealer fee associated with the back end on the loan, just having something a little bit lower. And as well as I do, appraisals and solar systems kind of and depends on who you get.
One thing I'd like to mention, just full transparency, because this has come up a couple times recently, and it's been something since I've been here for 11 years, and somehow I did not know this. But let's say a person is selling their house, they're going to pay off the loan. So they've lived there for 2 years, they're paying the loan off. They are going to get charged a fee. That fee is pretty nominal. It's about $250. I did not know about this until a homeowner complained pretty rampantly last week. That fee is to lift the UCC. So the bank makes a big deal out of it, like it's that money out of their pocket to go do this. If someone takes it to term, that fee doesn't show up. It's actually built into all of the payments. But if they do pay it off early, they are going to see this fee. It's not a penalty. It's the fee strictly to lift the UCC. So full transparency, just because I recently saw that, caught me off guard, and I don't want you guys to be caught off guard. So now you know.
I mean, we've seen, I think, for like SunPower charge right now, or who took it over with SunStrong, it's $300 when people do a refinance on a lease. So that's pretty in line. I would anticipate. Whenever I say penalties, usually somebody thinks it's going to be something gigantic. That's like a nominal. Like you're saving all that
Yeah.
money on interest anyway.
Mhm.
Anybody got any other questions? I think we did this in one in record time.
I talk fast sometimes when I get rolling, but um, yeah, you guys please reach out to me anytime. Happy to help. And for those of you that haven't tried us, give it a shot. I think you'll find that it's very easy. We're continuing to be as competitive as we can on pricing. We are not, just so you know, February pricing I just did yesterday with our team. Everything is staying the same despite all the crazy increases that we're kind of seeing out there in the market. So you guys will still have that 899 no fee on the longer terms. Still same fees apply all the way down to 399. And I would say if you ever have feedback in terms of things that you need from a product, please share that. We really do try and take our customers into account when we're developing new things, and it's super helpful for me to have people asking for it when I put in these requests. So please reach out. Positive, negative feedback, all of it, super important to us.
All right. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thank you guys and appreciate the time. And Jordan, I will be calling you later. I have some information for you.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, take care.
See you, everybody. Go to recording.